What's up, Street Thugs? Brigg here, and we're gonna do something today that a lot of people have been asking me about lately. We are going to go over how to create your own fire farm critters. Critters being the technical file term for the baddies, because the map and everything and creating the storyline is pretty simple, it's pretty self-explanatory. But where people get hung up on is the actual lieutenants, minions, and bosses. So we're going to go over exactly what powers you want to take for it, and then we'll touch on some of the map stuff too. That way you kind of know. But first, we're going to go into create a new mission, and so this is your main screen here. Obviously, this kind of stuff is pretty self-explanatory, but you want to go to this first mission here. It says enemy group, and if you click on this, it will give you the information. A lot of you probably know that already, but go to custom, and then you're going to create your group. Now, you just want to edit custom group or create a custom group. Either way, it's going to take you to the same window. So just hit that, and now you come down here, hit create character. And this will show all your characters right here, but create character. There's a lot there, huh? So then you want to go to minion. You want it to keep it in melee because obviously you want their priorities to go into melee range. They converge and make that big mob. And then of course none for flight. Go to next. And so this is where we're going to start. We're on Minion. The first thing we want to do, and this is not necessary, but it'll kind of give you an idea, is grab this little bad boy right here and move it all the way to 100%. Well, oh, sorry, all the way to level 50. That way you know for sure that you're hitting 100% on XP. So we'll go over here. This is our primary set. We'll go to Tanker, and we'll go down to Fire Melee. We want Scorch, and we want Incinerate. Okay, just those two. That's the only ones you want. And then hit next to go to secondary. We're going to take Blaster, go all the way to the bottom here, hit Fire Blast, and we're going to click off flares because all you want is Fire Blast. And those three powers are all you need for your minion. And you'll tell right here it's at 100%. Now, this number up here is not exactly accurate because you can do other combinations and still hit that 100% mark, but you won't actually be at 100% XP. It'll be close, but it won't be as maxed out. So this is the combination that I have tested to make sure that you got the max XP you can get without getting a whole bunch of extra damage. And then of course you're just going to body and costume and register and all that stuff's pretty basic. And I mean you're gonna customize that however you want to. The next one is lieutenant. Everything else stays the same, of course. We're gonna jump back over here. So for tanker, fire melee, we want to do scorch and breath of fire. We're going to turn off incinerate if it's already clicked. So you just want those two, scorch and breath and fire. So take note that the difference between the minion and the lieutenant is you're just reversing those from incinerate to breath of fire. And then next, go to blaster for your secondary. Fire blast. You know what? I've never really messed too much to see if it's different between primary and secondary. I felt like taking a tanker power in primary actually makes it seem like it might be more tankery and maybe have less damage. I don't think it matters because you can actually look them up through all as well. But we're going to Fire Blast. Again, turn off flares. You want Fire Blast and you want Blaze. Okay? And again, we're at 100% here. So that's going to be your max XP for the minimum amount of damage you do. And then we'll go, so that's Lieutenant. We'll go back to rank. We'll click on Boss. Melee none. Come next. We'll go down to Tanker again to Fire Melee. And the difference with this one is we're going to grab our Incinerate and Breath of Fire together with Scorch. So now you have three powers taken in primary sets. And again, you're still only using these three powers, okay? So we'll jump over here to next, go to Blaster, Fire Blast, and then this is the same, just Fire Blast and Blaze. And you're at 100%. Now, I will show you this because some people do like to do elite bosses, but for elite bosses, you actually don't have to do anything different compared to the regular bosses. So Scorch, Incinerate, Breath of Fire, jump over here to Blaster, and then you're gonna go down to Fire Blast, turn flares off, turn Fire Breath off, and now you have Fire Blast and Blaze, and you are at 100%. And that's all you need to do. That just carries over. And then, so we'll go back to the main page over here because there is something I can show you over here. We're going to exit and abandon changes. So something to kind of keep note of here is when you're going into your missions and you're selecting your map, you want to be kind of careful with something because it doesn't really give you exactly what you need to know, and so that's kind of important. So we're going to go with map, and you're going to, so we'll go to the Shiva Fragment just because that's one of the more popular ones, just because it's a small map, it's quick, you can get in and out. Not as important as it used to be back when we had the mission complete bonus, but some people still do like it because it is faster still. But it's unique maps. Come all the way down here to unique again, and then click on this one here, which is the third option, and you can see right here, Shiva Fragment. That is your space. You can see this is the bird's eye view. Now, now that we have that set up, we're going to jump over here to the second page of that first mission. And actually, let's go back. I want to point something out. If you look here, it says 16 allowed any detail, front or back. This map is a small map, so it doesn't really have that many options, but front or back. So that's important. We're going to come over here. This is the collect an object, and you just press an object. There actually is something I can show you about the collect an object. We'll just grab the first one available just so I can show you. But when you go into settings, quantity, and then you have interact time, set this to 0, and it works. Oops. And it works just fine. That way, the moment you click on that power, it activates. So there's no cast. It can be interrupted. It just click, boom, mission done, exit. Um, and then, of course, you want to make sure that's clicked. You have to have at least one thing starred so that you can actually exit the mission. Otherwise, you won't have any way to finish the mission to complete it. Um, so we're going to go back up here to basic. No, I'm sorry. Go up here to advanced goals. Now, this is patrols. Now, I usually just name the patrol 1 because it doesn't matter. And then, of course, you would set this up as a custom group. In this case, we'll use a CWH community one, which is the fire farm setup. Go to settings, and you want quantity. Now remember that map said 16, so we're gonna put 16 here. Okay, we got we want enemies, you want any, and you want to change this to hard because if you don't, it's gonna be majority minions and a couple lieutenants. You want to make sure it has a good balance of everything that you can get out of it. So make that hard. There's a way you can unbalance the groups. So if you decide, I'm gonna make a farm that just has minions, that way it's faster and easier, you get less XP. So you have to have boss, lieutenants, and minions, which is why I always try to balance them out. And I use a 3-2-1 method. So if I have 3 minions, I'm gonna have 2 lieutenants and I have 1 boss. And uh, I keep that ratio going throughout whenever I'm adding costumes, just to make sure that it's balanced. Otherwise, you'll see a drop in XP. Really, though, if you just had one costume in each, you may have a bunch of duplicates of bosses or lieutenants and minions, but the XP will be fine. If you decide to do just a minion, though, you are going to probably get an XP nerf. So you want to make sure you have a costume for each, a critter for each of those. So we have 16 of this patrol. Now, if we go back up here to advanced, you can see that it's now grayed out. You can no longer do any more because we're at 0 because the map is set to 16. But you can do 16 escorts, you can do 16 allies, and 16 battles. That is not correct. If you go over here and you create 16 allies and put a mob around them and go in there thinking, okay, I'm gonna have 16 patrols, I'm gonna have 16 allies with mobs that we're gonna have to defeat, and I'm gonna have 32 mobs in this map and it's gonna be awesome. That's not the case either. There is a priority list to this. If you add 16 allies in there, the 16 allies will overwrite the patrols. So you'll go on the mission and you will have 0 patrols, but you'll have 16 evenly spaced out mobs. And if you're the type that likes to jump from mob to mob and kill, that's perfect for you. Personally, for me, and I think I think everybody enjoys it for the most part. Majority enjoys the fact that what's nice about the Shiva Fragment is you can jump to the middle, you can start a fight, and they will trickle in. And that's why a lot of people like the AFK farm, because eventually they're going to get to you and you can take them down. So that's why I choose the patrols, because I mean, if you have a chance to make a bigger mob or kill faster or not have to search less, that's definitely the option. But that's pretty much the main things you need to know. There are other missions or maps you can check out. One of them I like to use. Let's get out of there. Unique maps. Let's go back to the top. Outdoor maps, and you can come over here and look for the city blocks. You can look at like the different outdoor maps. That's a popular one. Um, you can do like the Battle Maiden one. There's the city block. Um, but you know the popular ones that I'm sure you've seen before in old farms back in the day with actual missions. But that's essentially that. Everything else is pretty much custom how you would want it, how would you would want to create it, your critters, your story, whatever. How many missions you want. I mean, you just add another mission, you just click that, and boom, you're ready to go with another mission. Um, if you wanted to add an ally, that's also over here. You can either add it with a group around it that needs to be fought, or you can put it by itself. Um, and you do that over here. I will show you that too, because that sometimes people lose that as well. Uh, but surrounding enemy, you can choose that there. You got any front, middle, back. With the Shiva Fragment, it's always going to be anywhere. The map is so small, it's not going to do much. Unfortunately, these aren't very they're not pinpoint exact to an exact location. So there is a good chance that it's still going to be all over. It's pretty random. Um, Now this is your group difficulty. If you want an ally by itself, this is where you do it. You click single, and then he'll just be hanging out there waiting for you to come save him. And that's how I use my ally. And you will have to create that character separately. I think I kept mine in because there is an option if you want to go over to custom, and when you create your character, you can come over here. You can create character, and then you can change it to a person, and it'll create a separate group for that. But it's just like it's not necessarily an NPC, but it'll be just like a contact. If you wanted to have powers, you just go over here and or archvillain, make him an archvillain. If you are set to no archvillain, though, it will be automatically changed to an elite boss. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully, for those who are interested, will find that and think it's useful. If you do, if you like it, if you think it's useful, or if it helps, or you just appreciate the information, or if you just want to support me, please like the video, subscribe. If you want to get notifications when I do make my next video or my next live stream, please hit the bell for notifications. I'm hoping to do another live stream here very soon because I had a blast. That was so much fun. We even started a meme. But thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your support. And of course, stay golden and take care. Bye bye.